Hey, welcome back. Another day, another vlog, another week. Yes, it's Monday here in the desert. Hope you all had a good weekend, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. It was a productive weekend for me, I guess. Definitely, I'll just turn this down. Got a new video out, if you haven't seen that. Did some mundane weir, dam, whatever you call it. I think it's real. It is the weir. It is a dam. It's just I guess a different way of calling it. Astro. So it's a Milky Way. It was over 2 nights. My first night the clouds had come over. The second night I got a crystal clear night. It took me a long time to get through all the photos and get a few that were spot the dog for you for the clips. So I do hope you enjoyed. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I'll make sure it's at the end of this in the 2 little squares, or you can just shoot over to the playlist if you want to go and watch it now before you watch the end of this. That's fine. Just come back and see me. I'll be still here. But yeah, pretty happy with that. So that's worked out pretty well. Now it's just going in to check what my next video is, because I do have it in here. Yes. My apologies for that. I meant to check that before I started. So I've got a Lumix test coming up. So the FT7, my backup camera, does 4K, fully waterproof, shockproof, all the stuff. I've got that as a backup, so I spent a day on the BMX running around Perth to just test if I could use it as a full-time camera. Now, the only real problem I have with this is no audio input. That's the only real downside with this being a really handy backup camera. Something you can just dump on a tripod. And that's what I want to do. I just wanted that for, is to put it on a tripod while I'm taking photos, put it on the backup tripod. I can leave that in the rain, whatever, just leave it there while I'm filming and just let it go. The batteries last for ages. It's a Panasonic, so it's got a pretty good picture. It's got a nice wild, it's pretty low light. I think it's a 4.9. No, that's the thing. It's a 1.3 so aperture, so it's pretty good low light and all that sort of stuff. So I thought it was a good option. So I've got that video to do this week, so that's something to look forward to. As well as that, there is also another Les Medi Falls run I did out. I went out and checked out that as well again and did another run. We got some rain, so I've got a couple I want to try and smash out this week. That should be fairly quick to put together for the Lumix. I'm sort of happy with it, but not. It's just that audio's a pain. Where the GoPro, it's just too easy. With the GoPro, I can, as much as this is a bit of a pain to set up and drag around, this goes straight on the Joby with the Rode setup. And I've got good audio coming in, so I can film it, tape it. The biggest problem I have with the GoPro, it's terrible at night, just woeful. You would have seen in my Astro videos, even with a light on this, a good panel light on it, you can see me, but you can't see anything in the background. I can't bring up the shadows anywhere near enough. The lens is just terrible for night stuff. So I'm looking at that. I've got to see how this goes and what it does. I've got to check out this for some night stuff, which I'll do this week when I'm home on break. We're going down south and I'm going to do some Milky Way stuff on the weekend. I'm going to try and do some footage with this at night and see how that goes with low light. If that works out well, that could be still an option, because I can, worst case, do some sound recording the other way. Otherwise, I think I need to start looking at either. I don't want to buy another M50 because I'm waiting till September with the updated one, with this new Mini 1DX they're talking about. And I think that's the tricky part. I don't really want to so I'm looking at a cheap camera that I can use as a backup camera with sound and stuff. So in that case, I'll probably I can use this for fishing anyway. So that's the plans anyway. So here we go. So it'll be interesting to see the footage. I had a good day with it. I took a heap of photos. I went through all the different functions. I tried a heap of the different other filters and stuff like that on it. So it should be a good video. Rightio, into the news. Jeez, I've waffled on there for a bit. But yeah, I thought I'd talk you through a little bit on that because that was my plans. It hasn't really come out how I like. It is super portable. But yeah, just that sound. Unfortunately, it's the only thing that lets it down as far as I can see at the moment. Space Force on Netflix. Good little show. Steve Carell from The Office, the US version. Get Smart. He's done a heap of movies. You probably know him. Funny dude. It's not a super piss take of Space Force. It's sort of a cross between, I guess, what would you call it? Yeah, it's a bit of a cross. It's funny, but it's sort of sarcastic sort of comedy, a little bit dry, which is unusual for the Americans. But it works pretty well. John Malkovich is in it. He does a great job. So it is a good show. I've watched the whole first series already. I was pretty happy with it. I'd definitely watch it again. Now, they're getting attacked by the US military, funnily enough, because obviously Trump announced Space Force. The military are trying to get it, but Netflix has copyrighted Space Force, so the US military cannot use Space Force as a name. And the biggest thing the military is trying to say is they don't want them selling t-shirts with Space Force all over it because obviously that's what they're going to be using, but I don't know how they'll have to, Trump's basically going to have to rename it because he doesn't have the rights to the naming in his own country. So that I thought was funny and probably something they should have thought about before he came out and announced the Space Force. And I think you need to get all those ducks in a row before you announce something because Netflix was smart enough to go, you beauty, let's jump on this. Bang, we'll get a TV show and we'll get that and we've got the copyright, so the US government will have to pay us. So Netflix could make a fair cash earner out of this if Trump wants to keep using that name. So quite funny, I thought. MKBH, we all know him, great dude for the tech side. We talked, I think a while ago, about a cybertruck phone. That was the one with the folding cage. It comes from Caviar, who do a lot of the super expensive phones and stuff like that. He got one. It's basically just a case, so much like my Element case is for my iPhone 10, but this is probably actually nicer than that and doesn't cost anywhere near it. This is an expensive one and a really good case. I've dropped it heaps and it's never been a drama. But the case he came out with, it's pretty woeful. It was really boxy. You can't get a cord into the charging port. That was the first thing that was an absolute nightmare for him. You can use the original Apple cord, but if you've got an aftermarket good charging cord, you couldn't put it in because they were thicker, and then it couldn't get through the slot. It's obviously really square and heavy. The one he had was an aluminium one, I think it was aluminium one. And that was like $5,000. You can actually win it. He's got a competition going on his Twitter, so if you go over to his Twitter, you'll be able to link on there and go and have a chance to win it. I don't think you really want it because he did a drop test. It's a $6,000 case. It should protect your phone. He dropped it once and it cracked the glass on the back of the phone, so it's useless for drop protection. So you can win that and the cracked phone. He's giving away both. So if again go over to Twitter to NKBH, it's pretty funny, and that's $6,000 US, so 10,000 Australian dollars for a case, and that's the base model, the shitty aluminium. You can get a titanium version which goes up to like 7,000 or 8,000, and then there's another one which is got gold and stuff, or pure silver and gold, and that goes up to like something ridiculous like 15-20 grand. So definitely a good video to watch and go check out to see how silly sometimes you can build something for excess and to pimp it out, and then this thing is it just probably should have been left in the cupboard. just doesn't deliver on what it should, I guess, especially for that cash. It's just out of control. So, but you can win it, and you can have probably one of, I think it's only 300 of these cases getting made. I can definitely see why. They're not be lucky if they sell the 300, and then you'll be able to pip it out and show your friends. So very cool. Over at Cameron Conspiracies on the weekend, he was testing out the new Falcon Eyes little RGB light. So, and the difference is, I don't have my old one. So you've got your little panel light. So basically like a phone. You get all, and there's 50 million brands. You can go Lume Cube. Lume Cube do a really good panels, and it's good quality. So that's probably one good one to suggest. F7 is the brand. I have seen them on eBay. They do sell on there. They're a little bit more expensive, so I think they seem to be a little bit better quality level. They're not the like real basic Chinese ones that you don't deliver and stuff like that. So definitely good. Now the biggest thing with this one was it as a dual. Generally you get them as just one panel light, and they have the screw ins, they got the displays, all that sort of stuff. Pretty standard in regards to that. This one was a two panel folding one, so it's got a joint in the middle and fold, so you can obviously angle it and do all that sort of stuff, and then get 45-degree light, your RGB going one way, your other fill light going that way. So it gives you a lot of different options in one unit. You can use it to charge your phone, stuff like that. So I thought that was an interesting and something different. Obviously, it's not cheap. I think they're $374 on eBay, so you can get them there. It's a 24-watt RGB light. Basically, all the spec-wise, standard issue. The only difference is the fact that it's a two-piece, but it's a foldable panel, so you can fold it together, fold it right open, so you've got one big light, or you can put it at an angle, so you can get a little bit of shadows and stuff. So definitely interesting, and if you need a good portable light, they can do, I guess, some multi-options for your lighting. Definitely worth checking out. MSI, rightio. So this is a big one. Apple's probably leads the way, I guess, in screens for their computers. The 13-inch screen hasn't changed since my one came out in, well, I think 2013 was the first Retina screen, which I had, and then that one crashed and the screen crashed, and then I got my 14, which is about to retire. Poor little girl. Now that Retina screen's been fantastic. The way of the future is obviously mini LED and micro LED, which we've talked on this channel many times since the CES back in January. So it's coming. We've talked about it with the TVs. It's all happening. It's going mini LED first, and then micro LED is the goal in that technology. Now, the first laptop in the world with mini LED, so they've beaten the Apple team. They were predicted, and there's still rumours around them possibly being 2021, the year that they go to mini LED, even possibly a 12-inch coming out this year at the WWDC with mini LED. Well, MSI's beaten them to the punch. So they're the first in the world to get a mini LED screen. It's got 1,000 nits of brightness. Put that up against, I think, my new 16-inch that should be at home when I get home. I'm pretty sure that's 500 nits of brightness in the new 16-inch. So, and I think the new 13-inch MacBook Pros are 500 nits brightness. So a lot brighter. It has 240 local dimming points. So basically what they're talking about with those mini LEDs is with your screen, you've got one brightness. It's either full brightness, so wherever you adjust it, adjusts across the whole screen. With these dimming zones, with mini LED, and then obviously micro LED will give you thousands of dimming zones. The mini will give you a few hundred. You can adjust the brightness in certain spots, so you get better shadows, better blacks, better stuff like that. So you can individually across the screen adjust brightness and not just have one for the whole screen, if that makes sense. I hope that's the easiest way to say it. So really good technology, better colours, better power rationing as well too, so that'll be good. it's 100,000 to 1 contrast ratio, and that's the other thing, you get a better contrast ratio in there, so that's definitely good. It's a 17-inch Creator laptop. It's got an RTX 2080, 8 cores, speakers are terrible in it, 4 hours battery life. The big thing out of this, the actual computer, it's called a 17-inch Creator laptop. It does have a great graphics card in it, but that's not what we're trying to let you know about. The big selling thing on this is that mini LED, first in the world. MSI has got their first. It looks really good, looks really nice. They've done a great job. It is how they'll all come from now. Sorry, my focus keeps jumping. So yeah, really good to see that technology coming through. So pretty cool. For the M50, there's a new Sigma's drops a few new lenses this week. They dropped the 16mm DC. Was 16? I think it was the 30mm, the same as we have for the M mount. That is now over on the Leica mount, I think, for the Sigma. So they've taken that same lens, they've adapted over there. As well as that, Sigma has announced the USM dock for EFM lenses. So for these lenses, basically that means you can put your lenses in and get your hardware and software updates for the actual lens. So I do need to get one of them so I can make sure the 16mm stays tickety-boo. So that's really good. That's come out, and Sigma's doing some fantastic things. There's more rumours there. They've released some other lenses and possibly some more M mount stuff coming later in this year as well for us. So that's pretty cool. Last but not least, on the COVID front, Moderna, which I talked about originally, I think in the first couple of weeks when I said that they were well in advance for the vaccine. Well, it seems like that was pretty accurate now, because they announced, I think on Friday night, I think they come out with the thing that they have already hit phase 3 trials to start in July. That's the last stage. We did talk earlier about they were looking at maybe September. Well, these guys have got so far ahead that they're looking at starting in July. So we could be looking at, if it all goes well and it's a successful trial and this vaccine does stop things and stop it getting into people and all that things, we could see a vaccine September, October sort of time frame. They've already signed up a heap of people to go through these trials, so that's fantastic news for the whole world, and really positive. Good job to them. They announced they have manufacturing ability to do 1 billion shots of this thing, and they're ramping that up as they go, so they can easily pump out a ton. It's pretty good news, and it's great, and just amazing how when all these medical facilities collaborate for the good of humankind, how quickly we can achieve something. Stuff that used to take a year or 18 months, they have got from February to July, they've got to the 3rd stage in less than 6 months. Insane. Awesome, great job to them, great job to all the medical people out there that have been busting their ring hole out to get this vaccine, to find a vaccine, get it through the tests, get it ready to give it to the people that need it, and that's awesome. So that's a really big positive. I think it's also good that should help affect the financial markets and all that stuff to bring back that stability to life as we know it, I guess, which means jobs, people get hired again, people start getting paid again, people can pay the bills. We sort of start to slowly. So hopefully July, that kicks in. August, September, we're going to start hearing some feedback from it. If that looks positive, we're going to see a big reflection. I think that'll start bouncing back into our society, and then before Christmas we could have 1 billion of these shots getting pumped out, and I'm sure if they want, they could probably get these out to other manufacturers to manufacture it as well through license. They're going to make it, whoever gets it first is going to make $1 squillion, so I don't think they're going to have to worry about money for a long time. So yeah, really cool and good on them. And that's about it. Big day for Monday. A lot of news. Wasn't too much last night, but it's Sunday there in the States where we normally get most of the info from and a lot of stuff. There's some other lenses, some Tamara lenses I want to look at tonight and get you some info on those that are coming out for different different things. I think there's a nice zoom 2.8 aperture for the Nikon, so I'll get some more details and tell you tomorrow. Rightio, have a great Monday. Good to see you all again. Hope you're all well. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you all again tomorrow for another day, another vlog. Out there in the podcast world, special thanks to you. Do appreciate you dropping by to listen to me. You can't see me, but I'm dancing. That's just for my podcasters. Rightio, if you want to get to the podcast, if you don't have time or you just want to listen to it at work and catch up each day or what you missed last week, shoot over to Anchor. The links are all down below. You can find our podcast on whatever platform you use. I think we're on about 4 or 5 now, so pretty cool, something different, and it's basically just a straight swap over of this without this ugly bloke in there. Rightio, if you're going that way, we'll see you all tomorrow.